welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Griselda. As you can see by the title of this video, I am going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me. I don't do these quite often because honestly sometimes I feel like I don't know what to talk about. Recently on my Insta stories I've been sharing that I've been going to Reiki. A lot of you guys have a lot of questions in regards to what Reiki is, what it does for me, so I thought I'd put these two videos together and just get ready and talk about Reiki. I've been doing Reiki for about a month now. I've gone to my second session and I've seen a huge difference in a lot of things. So if you want to hear about my Reiki experience, then just keep on watching. Alright, so as you can see, I just have my brows on. I'm really not going to go in detail with all the products that I'm using. That will be listed in the description box below. But I just kind of want to get started and talk to you guys about my experience. I just wanted to let you guys know, when I first went in for Reiki, I didn't know what Reiki was. I was just like, healing, sign me up. One of my friends, her name is Vanessa, she does brows. She's also located at this place called Bungalow 3 in Studio City. She actually called me and told me about Reiki. The experience was amazing and how I needed to try it, and I said okay. She was like, you're gonna love it, you're gonna feel great, you're gonna, you know, probably cry, and you're just gonna feel like a different person. And I said okay, well, where do I sign up? And then she told me about Sophie. Sophie is the Reiki healer. I just want to say Sophie is like an angel. You can feel her energy. It's so pure. She's just like so angelic. And when I first walked into my session at Bungalow 3, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't know if she was going to do anything to my body. I just didn't even look into it. I was just like, I just need to get healed. From what, I have no idea. I didn't know that I was holding a lot of emotion inside. So the first thing that I said obviously was hello to her. She gave me a really huge hug and instantly I felt like a connection with her. The second thing I said to her is like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Can you please explain to me what Reiki is? So then that's when she told me that Reiki was a Japanese healing. It helps with anxiety, stress. It helps with the mind, body, spirit, emotional healing. She laid me down and then she said, just relax, take a deep breath. For the most part was just laying there with my eyes closed, and I was trying to figure out what she was doing because I wouldn't hear anything. I would feel her put her hands over me and then lightly would put her hands on me, and then randomly I would have my eyes closed and have like this vision. Some of the things I can't even say because it was like very inappropriate. Some of the places that it took me to were just like random places. People that I saw when I closed my eyes were just like very interesting, and I like would think like, why am I seeing this? And I hope she's not seeing the same thing because it's really inappropriate. She kept trying to tell me to relax, obviously not with words, but you know, with her energy, and it was very hard for her to kind of read my third eye. I was just like, okay, well, I was trying to relax. I kept telling myself, Griselda, relax, and it was definitely very hard. So finally, when I did relax, I was starting to feel at peace. And so she worked her way from the top of my head all the way to my feet. She went above my head. She didn't touch my forehead. She went on my shoulder. She put her hands on my chest, on my stomach, on my knees, and on my feet. A lot of the things that she told me towards the end were so crazy that I'm like there's no way you could know this. It was like things from like high school to my childhood. It was so crazy to think that someone that I've never met, that doesn't know anything about me, knows all of these things. She also mentioned things to me about my career, which could possibly have been seen, but the way that she described it was like there was no way that she would have known that. After my session, we sat there and we talked, and she told me a lot of things about myself that I knew but never really acknowledged. And that was, I think, the hardest part for me, because I'm the type of person that I'm very hard on myself. I'm the type of person that I will do something good, but it's never enough. I need to do better, because it's hard for me basically give myself the credit. As a human being, I know we all are very hard on ourselves, but one thing that I have never said out in public to anyone, some of my very closest friends know that I deal with anxiety and I deal with a lot of stress. Obviously with my job, it comes with the territory, but anxiety is one of the things that I really don't like to talk about, because it's an insecurity of mine, knowing that I have anxiety and knowing that I don't know how to control it at times. So even giving myself the credit would give me anxiety, because I would think that you can't get any better than this, which in my mind, that's how my mind worked. And for her to know that, like, there was no way. I'm like sweating just talking about this. Like, my armpits are sweating. She made me realize a lot of the things that I knew but I didn't want to come to terms with. Reiki has helped me understand myself as a human being, understanding my feelings, understanding what is good for me, what is not good for me. Mind you, this was my first session, and I literally sat there for almost 2.5 hours. The session was 1 hour. Then I talked to her afterwards for another like hour to hour and a half. Once I opened up my eyes and she started telling me all these things, there was one incident that she told me about and I started crying. It was such an emotional subject. Accepting that something happened gives me anxiety, because I'm constantly telling myself that I'm okay, I'm not hurting, I don't have an emotion towards, you know, whatever happened. That was super hard for me, because I had to face that. Saying out loud what the actual problem was even harder. Whatever happened, but just talking about it was something that I rarely ever do, and it just brought a lot of emotion that I needed to release. The second thing that we did was she told me what kind of person I was. And even like me saying it out loud, I don't like to talk about myself, because to me, some people can come across like very cocky and you're just like, you know, talking about yourself and you're this and you're that. And that's just not who I am. I've never been that person, because I much rather other people shine than myself. So when she started telling me all of these things that I am, it was like stop. Like, I'm not those things. Even though I am those things, I always don't like to say it out loud. I'm a very understanding person. I'm a very loyal person. And those two things are the things that keep me from growing as a person. When she started telling me that, it like brought my anxiety back. Anybody that knows me will tell you I don't do very well with compliments. Like, it's great reading them and like I can say thank you, but when somebody gives me a compliment in person, I like shut down, because I'm just like, no, like, don't tell me those things, because it's really hard for me to inhale that. That was like what the first session was about, and I left there kind of speechless, because, you know, we touched subjects that I never knew I needed to talk about. So at the end of the session, you know, she told me to obviously drink a lot of water, and that some things that she did mention to me probably didn't make sense to me then, but were gonna make sense to me in the future. There's still some of the things that I was like, it still doesn't make sense to me, because there were a few things that I saw that I'm like, why did I see that? Like, what? Like, please explain to me. She never said they were gonna be in the next week or two. She just said it will all make sense in the future. I felt really exhausted, and I actually came home and I took a really hot bubble bath. I know it's not safe, but I literally fell asleep for about 45 minutes in the tub. But it was like a deep sleep. I feel like the energy was just like sucked out of my life. When I woke up, I felt so peaceful. I felt like I had no worries in the world, and I went to sleep. The very next day, I felt a little emotional. I told myself, okay, I need to just kind of go with the flow, and you know, she mentioned that I will feel some type of emotion and, you know, tired. So I went about my day, and one of the things that stood out to me the most when I talked to her towards the end was she told me that I'm always in a rush. I'm always constantly moving. I'm always doing so much that I never take my time to actually pay attention to the things that I'm doing. Not that I don't pay attention, but like for example, if I'm drinking my coffee, that I'm just drinking it while my mind is thinking of other things. If I pick up my coffee, actually enjoy the sip of coffee. So pay attention to every single movement that I make, and I've been doing that ever since, and I will tell you it's made such a huge difference in my life. That is like one of the smallest things that I've never really paid attention to, but it was the most important for me because now I actually take in everything that I do. So as the days went by, I started realizing how calm I was. Some of the things that would bother me wouldn't bother me. It was just crazy because it wasn't like I wasn't doing the same things, because I'm doing everything that I would normally do, but I would do it in a different way that it wouldn't give me stress. It wouldn't make me overthink. I was just like, did she just turn me into a different person? One thing that she told me was that I'm a very understanding person, which I know I am. I'm a very, very understanding person. But when it comes to myself and something needs to be done for me, I tend to be a little too understanding, where it's like, no, like, well, that person has all of this, like, I don't want to bug them, like, I just don't want to be an inconvenience for them. And sometimes it can be something as small as like asking a question, like, or expressing to someone how I feel. Like, I don't ever want to make anyone feel like I'm a burden or I'm being inconsiderate or any of that. That's why I'm always like, no, it's okay, don't worry about it. Or if something happens, I just won't express how I feel. Not that I stopped being a very understanding person, because I'm always going to be very understanding, but when it comes to me and my feelings, I needed to learn how to put myself first. And if I feel something, I'm going to say it. I was never that person. I was always like, no, it's okay, don't worry about me, like, I'll be fine. Like, that was like always my way of thinking, because I'm such a people pleaser that I always like to just make sure that everyone else is okay and I can just figure it out. I've been in situations now where I'm just like, no, that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. Like, this is how I feel. This is why I felt that way. And I'm not being inconsiderate. I'm being a human. Even with Anthony, I've taken that into consideration. Like, Anthony also needs to know how I feel when he does something or says something wrong. It definitely has helped so much being able to express how I feel. Holding all of that emotion in was not healthy for me. It would affect every single part of my life. My mood, as it is, I'm already a Gemini, so you guys know Geminis, they're like either happy or they're sad, either kind of in between. Like, we're all a little bit all over the place sometimes, but that has helped me so much, because I'm like, if I just tell you how it is, like, we're not gonna have a problem. Even talking about this is so out of my comfort zone. Like, I'm like, oh my God, they don't need to know that. Like, for what? Like, they don't need to know how I feel. They don't need to know that I have anxiety. They don't need to know all of these things about me, because I don't want anybody to look me in a different light. It's definitely a huge relief on my end that I'm able to talk about it and let you guys know that as a human being, everyone goes through their things, being disconnected with just themselves. And for me, it was like, I didn't know how to deal with that, because I was always hiding behind, I don't even know how to put that in like words. I just felt like I just needed to just keep to myself. At the end of the day, there was my mentality of like, I don't want to burden anyone. I don't want anyone ever feeling sorry for me, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to motivate. I'm here to do all of these things for other people. Like, I was keeping myself in the back burner. I was, you know, just telling myself, like, Griselda, you're fine. Like, don't act like a baby. Like, you're gonna be fine. So that's what I did in my everyday routine. Even if I did have a bad day, like, yesterday, for example, I basically was not in the mood to do anything. But I also needed to learn that just because I'm not in the mood, that doesn't mean that I don't have to do it. I pushed through, I took breaks, but at the end of the day, I felt so much better because either I would lay in bed all day and not do anything, or I would do things and be miserable without taking a break. So yesterday I kind of did something in between where it was like, I don't want to do it. I want to lay in bed. Don't want to like deal with any of this. I did what I had to do. I took a break, I took a nap, and I woke up with a better thought process because I needed that. And I was so hard on myself. Can't afford to take a break. You can't. You have to go pick up Anthony. You have to do this. You have to do that. Like, you have so much to do. Like, why are you taking a break? That was my mentality. That was always the way that I thought. And now I don't think that way. I'm like, listen, if I need a break, I'm gonna need a break, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And that's like me talking to myself. Honestly, not even paying attention to what my makeup looks like right now. Moving forward, I'm putting myself first no matter what. I'm always going to be very thoughtful. I'm always going to be very considerate. I'm always going to be that person that always wants to help others, but I'm going to help myself first before I can do any of that. About a week ago, I went back to Sophie. Going in for the second time, I obviously knew what I was getting myself into, but didn't know what the outcome was going to be because, you know, it's never going to be the same. This time, my visions were like almost the same when I had my eyes closed. Think of like lava lamps, like those like colorful, like purple, green, like all kinds of weird stuff. When I would close my eyes, it was like a design that would go in and out of my sight, which was so interesting to me because I was like, what is going on? Like it was like a lot for me to take in because I would feel her on top of my head or on my body, and like I would see it. I would close my eyes and I literally would just see that, like it would go in and out, in and out. And it was mostly purple and like lime green. The last time that I did Reiki, like I saw a naked man and I saw private parts. I saw stuff from my childhood and it was just like really interesting. But this time it was mostly that. The difference between this time and my first time was I actually woke up crying. I woke up with like just tears coming down. And I was emotional in the sense where I wanted to cry, but I didn't know I was actually crying. It was just a way of me releasing like everything that I was feeling. I was just like, I need answers. Why did I feel this way? She just told me that it's natural. My body is releasing whatever emotion I was feeling at the time. We talked about a few things and personal things that I, you know, obviously would much rather keep to myself. And those are the things that I feel like I was emotional about, and I was able to release them, and I felt so much better because it was something that I wasn't able to do back then. It was very hard for me to even like show any type of emotion because, like I said before, I'm the strong person. I need to be strong. I can't show emotion. I need to go on and move forward with everything. Some good coffee. That session made me realize a lot about myself and things that I know needed to be said, needed to be expressed. And that night I did something that I would never do. It made me feel so much better because I kind of faced a fear without making excuses, what's the word? I guess excuses for something that I didn't want to do. And because I would be like, no, but this, that, and the other, and then she would look at me, she'd be like, no, you need to take care of yourself. You need to release what you're, you know, need to release because you're still hurting yourself. You're still not expressing what you feel. And I just released it and I said what I needed to say, and I felt so much better. But in my mind, I was already stopping myself because I was forcing something. How can I say it? I was painting a picture that wasn't there, if that makes sense. Because I was telling myself, well, if I say this, then this and that's gonna happen. If I say this, this and that and the other is gonna happen. And it was just all in my head. So once I talked about it and I released it, it was like, that wasn't that hard. Because sometimes, you know, we need that. Sometimes we feel like we're stuck in a place in our lives where we can't get out of, and we just need that extra push. She helped me accept myself for who I am. She helped me congratulate myself for all my accomplishments, which is something nobody could ever make me do. I was like, no, I need to do better. We're all our worst critic. And I feel like I'm still gonna be that person. The only difference is that now I'm gonna congratulate myself for everything that I've actually done and I've actually accomplished. Even talking about it, I don't get emotional. I'm at peace with a lot of the things, and I'm okay with a lot of the things that have and have not happened. Bungalow 3 is a place where I go for healing. That's where I also do my microcurrent therapy, and that is to help heal my back. And then I also go there for my wood therapy, which kind of helps with like sculpting your body. I will link all of their information in the description box below. And by all means, this is not a sponsored video. I just felt like I needed to like talk about it with you guys because it was something that was like super important for me. I feel like you guys know me and have been following me for a very long time, but don't know a lot about me. So I thought that this was gonna be like a great start for you guys to get to know me a little bit better as a person. This definitely has been a struggle for me in the sense where it's hard for me to open up to just anyone, let alone people that follow me that I don't know anything about. I was always very afraid of like what people are gonna think, and I need to paint this perfect picture. And in real reality, we all go through our things, we all go through struggles. Yes, sorry, I had to proofread Anthony's homework. Like I was saying, we all have our struggles, and sometimes it's hard to speak on them or just let anyone know that we're struggling. I would just like hold it in and, you know, kind of not brush it underneath the rug, but it was like almost like it didn't happen. So that is my experience with Reiki. I feel like I was at a point in my life where I was willing to try anything because I wasn't unhappy. I just was going through so much emotionally that I was just like, I'm willing to try anything to reduce my anxiety, to reduce my stress. We are almost done with this look. I would really love to know what you guys' thoughts are on Reiki. If you guys love it, if you guys have never tried it, if you guys are willing to try it. Honestly, let me know in the comments down below. Would really love to know and like read about your experience as either a Reiki healer or someone that has done Reiki. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some lips because I can't really talk while I do my lips. All right, everyone, so this is the final look. I know I didn't really explain what I was doing and what products I was using, but this was just a video of me kind of letting you guys know a little bit more about me and who I am as a person. I had major anxiety in the process before, and now I feel so much better because I'm able to just like express to you guys that I do suffer of that. Talking about healing and Reiki and what it's done for me is what the whole point of this video was, because I feel like it's super important to heal yourself and to take it step by step. Healing is a process, and I've had to learn that the hard way because I'm a very impatient person. Most Geminis are very impatient, so that's one of the things that I also have to like learn to be, is a little bit more patient. It is a lot to take in, but I do want to let you guys know that I really appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm gonna stop babbling about everything, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below, and again, I thank you guys so much. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video.